Davidson. I'm homeless service advocate for Ogden City Police Department. So right now we're 1 year ahead from where my program started with Ogden Police Department. So September is 1 year that I've been doing it full time.
We started the homeless service advocate position as a pilot program. We weren't sure how that was going to work out and how that would integrate with law enforcement and our current police department functions in the city. We found that the program and that position were wildly successful. We bridged communication gaps with the homeless community and built partnerships in the community.
It's very difficult, I think, for the Ogden Police to tell the story of what they are doing in their community policing program. And I felt like the homeless services advocate, just you alone, tells the story of, I think, what the agency is trying to do as a whole.
We realized immediately that the community, the need in the community, was more than just one advocate position. So the expansion to 2 advocacy positions is needed in the community, and it definitely helps our officers mitigate some of the calls for service or repeated calls for service that we go on.
I feel like we put so much pressure on the officers in our country to be the DV advocate, the homeless advocate, the child abuse advocate, like all of these things, and that's not possible.
No.
Like, so to a mental health therapist, like these cops should not be all of those things. They should have people and partners that are those things that they can call and say, hey, I have a domestic violence client here, can you help me?
Right.
Instead of having to be the expert in all of it.
Right. Because that's too much for anybody.
What all those little barriers that happen along the way, I just said, I know you're homeless, but I can't prove it.
Right.
The fact that you guys see them and you have a case note about them, I can use that. And I can say, yes, you guys can verify that you know them to be homeless from this time to this time. I can just take a nice little letter and check that box and move on with them.
I think it's come a long way as far as like building some trust with the community and with people who are currently experiencing homelessness. Typically have not the best relationship with law enforcement, and so I think that it's gone a long way to kind of put a face and someone who cares.
Having this advocacy program and the team approach with Ogden City Police Department has greatly improved our relationships with other community partners and developed that relationship.
I think definitely the community as a whole perspective on policing has changed.
I mean, you have an understanding that we have to do our job sometimes, but then we also have an understanding to work with the people that are trying to better themselves and you know, give them some more chances so that they can continue to get their housing or whatever resources they need.
We're redefining what those relationships can look like. It's not a, I'm more powerful, right? Or I'm the person who's going to tell you what to do. I think that the way things are happening in Weber County, what I'm so excited about is, especially with your position, is you're redefining what that relationship can look like.
Law enforcement hasn't always had a perfect relationship with the homeless community. With this program, we've built bridges, developed better communication between the police officers, the advocate services, and the homeless community.
I think every city should have somebody like this person. She's vigilant, she gets out there. She's not only vigilant, but she comes from a place of a heart. Like she doesn't, there's no judgment that follows her.
Do you feel like the guys are really trying to help you now?
Yes,
So
like
do you
me.
think that communication has come from this position? Like it's
Yes,
brought it to the middle?
like a lot. I've noticed the law enforcement that works with her has learned a new compassionate and sympathetic way to work with us community members. They are, this is the best team I've ever seen in my life.
When the officers see me, which they see me a lot, they'll pull me out to the side. Do you need anything? No. How are you doing? How's your boyfriend? They ask. They're a lot more caring now.
They are the most sympathetic, caring individuals that I've met. And I mean, the more communication you have with individuals on the streets, the less crime you're gonna have.
We've seen success from this program, and we'd like to continue that success and expand that success.
Here in Ogden, yeah, it's just phenomenal. And surprisingly, across the state, it's just not as good as it is here in Ogden and Weber County. It's very impressive. Of course, moving forward, it's just naturally going to grow. It's a good thing. And so when you pick a right plan, it just naturally grows and fills in the gaps, don't you think?
It's a paradigm shift. It absolutely is. We are combining two very large systems that have not always worked together that are now working together and taking approaches that are needed to benefit human beings.
It needs some love, and I guess that's what we're supposed to learn how to do, is love something.
And I'm really proud of him. I'm proud of his progress, and I'm excited to see how many more people like Taz we can help.
If I could do this, most anybody could do this.
As far as Ogden Police and as far as this city and everybody that has helped me with the housing and with getting my housing, I cannot say enough. I'm just so happy, and it's been so easy, and I feel like everybody should try to do it. It's a way of getting off the street, and the possibilities are so there. People shouldn't get discouraged.
I've seen the relationship between the clients that are camping out, staying on the streets, not as quick to hide or run now when they see officers coming, which is a big change, and it's a good change. And I've seen officers actually go and hand out, a cup of coffee instead of trying to, hey, get out of here, it's time to go. They're actually working with them. So that is such an incredible change that I've seen within the community with officers.
It feels like, obviously in patrol we're doing calls of service, which is great, but it feels like here we can reach bigger problems and kind of, really dive into certain issues that people are struggling with and work with them to better the community as a whole. And I think that has shown by people coming up to us and talking with us, more than just a normal patrol officer.
We're doing really good things, and it's because of Ogden City, the administration, and the police department, and everyone, from the chief to the deputy chief to the sergeants, the lieutenants, the patrol, traffic, strike force, crime reduction, community policing. I would not be where I am right now in building this program if the community policing officers hadn't given me a chance. I'm so grateful. I can't wait to see where this goes as we continue on.
With the success of the program, we see a need for expansion. Where are we going to go in the future? What we're looking for is developing an additional homeless service advocate position, overlapping those positions, and creating a coverage for advocacy for 7 days a week. We've seen success from this program, and we'd like to continue that success and expand that success.